Hello, everyone, and welcome to Comic Book Wednesdays for January 15th, 2014, the first Comic Book Wednesdays of 2014. I do apologize for one not being there last week. Michigan is a horrible place to live, I'll tell you that. We had a snowstorm come in, and my comic book shop, who usually gets their stuff no matter how bad, didn't get their stuff this week. So unfortunately, I couldn't do it last week. Too bad, so sad. And I'm also going to show you the end of 2013's last one, because I didn't do any for the whole month of December, personally because I wanted to take some time off. It was the holiday season. I did put up the top 50 top 50 songs of the year. So if you want something that I did, you can go check that out, because you know what? I didn't want to leave you hanging, and I promised that throughout the whole year. But, still, gotta do what I gotta do, and I got the books that I needed. So let's first take a look at the books that came out the last week, which was, they put them out on Tuesday, and I'm busy on Tuesdays, even if it's a holiday, so I couldn't do that. So, December 31st, we had Injustice number 12. I've read these two already. I haven't read this yet, because I picked this up today. Only because last week I didn't know when the books were coming in, so I was just going to wait until next week. It doesn't matter. Anyway, Injustice number 12. It's pretty awesome. A great way to conclude the regular Injustice storyline before they went into what we're going to see today, actually, year 2. So I'm looking for. I did look forward. This was awesome. I love this cover, the Grundy and Black Adam thing. But yeah, it was really cool. Definitely a great conclusion to it. And I can't wait to see what we're going to get to actually today. And the other book was Superman Unchained, this is number 5. Yeah, we're already 5 issues into Superman Unchained. This is the one that might get people even less on top of the book, because, I don't know, I'm like the only person I know who thinks this book is actually really awesome. I personally think it's awesome because it actually shows Superman in a different character life than I've actually seen him in the New 52 universe. So I'm great to see that this type of Superman storyline. It was great. I think Injustice was better in my opinion, but I did enjoy this book, even though it wasn't the best of the issues. I still think that it's either issue 2 or issue 3 that I think is the best. I can't remember on the top of my head. But it's not the worst issue. I think issue 4 was probably not that bad. It wasn't that great either. It was just in the middle of good, okay-ish. But this is pretty good, I have to admit. But let's get on to last week's book. Last week, the only book that came out was Superman and Batman number 7. And I did get the variant cover for this, which was the Scribblenauts variant with the Dark Knight Returns on it. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. A nice little Superman and Batman thing going on. My comic book store had a lot of these, so they were only selling it for $1 more. So, but yeah, it looks sweet. Unfortunately, you gotta read it like this. It doesn't matter what the cover looks like, but this is definitely awesome. 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 Let's get on to this week's, though. The first thing we have is a free comic from Marvel. Yes, Marvel gave out a bunch of free comics this week. Not a bunch, just one. And the one they gave out was Deadpool the Gauntlet. It's a one-shot free comic with a bonus digital edition, because Marvel's awesome. Apparently the story is Deadpool versus vampires, which is kind of awkward because we have a regular storyline that actually does cost money to come out this week for Deadpool. But yeah, how do you like your steak, Fang Boy? Rare, medium, or in your stinking heart? Yeah, Deadpool would say something like that. He wouldn't sound like that, but that's pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to kind of reading what this is about. Yeah, it's a one-shot though, but whatever. But let's get into the main books from Marvel. The only big book from Marvel that I think, but that I actually want to read. Night of the Living Deadpool. Deadpool with zombies. I like that. We didn't see much of Deadpool in Marvel Zombies. I think, in fact, I don't even know if he was in it at all. I only read the first trade of it. So, seeing Deadpool in a zombie book, kind of interesting because Deadpool's kind of a zombie in a way, but I want to see what happens. And it's a 4-issue miniseries. And apparently parental advisory, not for kids. I wonder why. Oh, because it's Deadpool. Not the zombie part. Let's start with DC. DC, this week we have 2 books coming out from DC. One of them I already told you about, but we'll get to that one in a second. But first we have Nightwing number 27. New storyline for Nightwing. They're not going in with the Forever Evil stuff yet. They're going to wait. I think they're waiting until after that's over to get the repercussions for Nightwing in that. Because last issue they were supposed to do a tie-in with Forever Evil, but they didn't. Because Nightwing's still their hostage. The crime syndicate and the Forever. Apologies for that. My iPhone is a load of crap sometimes. That is one of the times. I didn't have enough storage to record a video, so I had to delete something. No big deal. Anyway, yeah, so I'm wondering how this goes. So the Marionette is the new villain for Nightwing. Well, let's see how long this takes. And he's still in Chicago, too, which is pretty cool. So, let's see how this goes. I trust Kyle Higgins. Higgins, not Higgins. And finally, I'm going to think is the biggest book of the week. Injustice, Gods Among Us, Year 2. Yeah, that ending of the first one was just great. So I'm looking forward to this one. I can't wait to see what happens. But with that being said, why don't we take a look and see what I have to say? So, to me recording this, to future me. We are back. Alright, guys. So, surprisingly this week, first technical 2014 week for me, because last week, snowstorm. So, very happy with this week. I'll tell you that. This was a good week. And last week's comic was great, too. Let me talk about that first. Yes, let me talk about Batman, Superman, numero 7. I had to look. So this is the conclusion to this video game-esque storyline, which has been pretty good so far. Greg Pak, his work on this book has been really good since the beginning, I have to admit. The whole Earth 2 storyline, great. This video game storyline, great. In fact, this is my favorite issue of the video game storyline. I don't know if it's the favorite issue of the Batman Superman story, stories in general. I think the Earth 2, I think all the issues of Earth 2 were better than this one, but I think this was the best, the Game Over. I'll call it the Game Over. I don't personally remember what it's called, but I personally think this was the best. Yeah. Only thing I can really complain about is Brett Booth and his art. I can admit, he is improving as an artist. However, at the same time, I hate it so much because it's just, like, it's just too bleh. It's too gray. It's too black and dark. I don't like that. Show some light more often. And there's these weird, like, color blends that don't work, too, with his art. It's just, The characters sometimes don't look right, also. But, have to admit, it's pretty exciting because Jay Lee is coming back to the book. In fact, the Annuals comes out in 2 weeks. And Jay Lee's getting to work on that, and we're going to see more and more. But after this book, the next issue is going to be the crossover with World's Finest. Very excited about that. I forgot to pick up the Prelude, but luckily I ordered it online off Midtown Comics. So that's getting shipped within 2 weeks or so. So I'll be getting that issue, and I'll begin the storyline then, because technically the Annual is a fight to the death, apparently, with Batman and Superman and their families, which is kind of interesting. Why don't we get into this week, though? Let's start off with the Deadpool Gauntlet, since it was free. This is part of Marvel's Infinite arc, which I think is really weird, that they're going from Marvel Now to all new Marvel Now to Marvel Infinite. Yeah, it's just too confusing, I'll be honest. I don't understand it. Anyway, this story is what to expect when you look on the cover. It's Deadpool and vampires. Pretty cool, right? I'd say so myself. Definitely. I'd definitely say so myself. So, Deadpool... Actually, the beginning of the comic, it's like a little like Silver Age kind of thing where there was a one story beforehand and then it goes into the actual story. It does that here, but it relates in a way because of the location of London. Anyhow, this is hilarious. I'm so glad this was free. I would like to read more because this was short, and the ending, what do you expect? Deadpool versus Dracula. That's not a shock there because that's what they've all been talking about. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I really do like it. It's from the main people who write the regular Deadpool comics, so you know it's going to be good. And yeah, it came with a free digital copy, so I approve of this. This isn't going to be part of the top 3 this week, but if you guys can find this in your local comic shop, I definitely recommend taking a look at it. Number 1, because it's free. Number 2, because it's Deadpool. Number 3, because it's actually pretty hilarious and actually a really cool concept. It's a 13-issue series. I thought it was a one-shot. It only says 1 for the one-shot on the bottom because it's the free book. I don't know if they're going to be releasing more of these for sale. I know they're doing them on the Marvel app where you can buy more, along with Wolverine Japan's Finest, Iron Man Fatal Frontier, and Here Comes Daredevil Road Warrior. So, those 4 series, well, 3 including this one, are up there right now. So I recommend go taking a look at this one. I have no idea if the other ones are good, but this one's pretty good. Let's get into the regular books, though. I want to say, sorry for not going in the room and showing off the comics, but kind of renovating right now. Cleaning up my room. Night of the Living Deadpool, issue number 1 out of 4. This, oh my gosh, this was hilarious. It's a satire in a way of Walking Dead with Deadpool. And making fun of all the zombie cliches as well. The story starts out with Deadpool, and the first thing you notice is that it's black and white, except for Deadpool. You're like, that's kind of funny. That is satire of The Walking Dead right there, because Walking Dead's all in black and white. The art style kind of looks like Walking Dead art in a way. And it's kind of a tribute and a satire of it at the same time, which I'm actually I find this very funny. But definitely, it's a great issue. I can't wait to read the next one. Deadpool surviving in the zombie apocalypse. We don't know if Deadpool can actually even turn into a zombie. Who knows? But definitely funny. Definitely great. Zombie things. They had this weird thing where the zombies can actually kind of talk. But yeah, that's actually pretty cool. And, Deadpool and the zombie apocalypse. What can I say more than that? So I definitely recommend taking a look at this, since this was pretty much the only Marvel book I was interested in this week. After that, Nightwing number 27. I honestly forgot where it left off in the last Nightwing issue, because I know that they were all done with the prankster, and they were starting up again with him in Chicago, and they meet up with a girl named Malice, and he was only called Malice from the Mad Hatter. I remember that. I'm like, oh yeah, the Mad Hatter strikes at Nightwing. What's this all about? And the cover, the thing about comics nowadays is that the cover gives away too much, in my opinion, in some cases. When they put text in there, you're just like, so it's like, really? What the heck? Plus, it kind of doesn't even relate to that. So, Nightwing has to deal with the Mad Hatter, along with dealing with this new chick who the Mad Hatter kidnapped and mind-controlled and became Alice from Wonderland, but is slowly regaining some memories and trying to figure out what the Mad Hatter has. There's a twist in there, which is actually pretty surprising, but the storyline with Nightwing and his roommate, or not the black one, the white girl, I can't remember their names on the top of my head. She, not really cool, but there is kind of a shocker in the middle of it. So I do have to admit, that's kind of cool, but not my favorite issue of Nightwing. I'm hoping the story gets better, but I'm thinking it is. Because, again, I trust Kyle Higgins in this. And it's not like this was bad. This was pretty good. I'm just saying it wasn't the best. So, we're looking forward to more from Nightwing, though. And also, how can you live off the fact that you just had Tony Zuko come back for Nightwing? You made the main kind of bad guy for Dick Grayson come back, and then you expect people to have a better storyline. Like, that was insane for what they did, what DC did, with the prankster and Tony Zuko. And I loved that storyline. I loved the ending. I loved all the way through. And then you gotta read to that, and you're just like, it's not as good. But, well, that's just my grief. I mean, it's not DC's fault. It's not Kyle Higgins' fault. It's just that you can't expect that from after that. But whatever. Finally, Injustice Year 2. I'm just going to call it that from now on instead of saying the full title because that's just long. Surprisingly, I forgot to mention this. This is $3. Now, Injustice Gods Among Us, the first series, $4. So, number one, that's a plus already. If you haven't gotten into Injustice, it's $1 less. So there you go. Glad about that. Secondly, the story is just great as always. They continued the story where it left off. Spoiler alert for people who haven't played the game, I guess, or haven't read the series, because this is pretty crucial. But at the same time, it's not, because the game's almost been out it's been about 9 months since the game's come out, so who cares? This takes place after the story takes place, the beginning of this, there's actually two stories, actually, in a way. But the first story is at Oliver Queen's burial ground, and Black Canary and Hal Jordan are dealing with the grief. They show a little story of the relationship between the trio and how, they had always had a great relationship. And then they go to the funeral where he's buried. A bunch of heroes are there, both from the Superman side and from the Batman side. Unfortunately, Bruce Wayne is not there because at the end of the last issue, Superman broke his back. Superman did the Bane, as I like to call it. So, does this mean in the universe that Bane never broke Batman's back? I don't know. But that was kind of shocking in a way that Superman would do such a thing to Batman, break his back. And it's surprised it didn't even rip him in half, but I think Superman's trying to lean away from the killing. Then again, he killed Oliver Queen with no problem. Anywho, so that's the relationship between Black Canary and Hal Jordan, how that grows, and how things work out with them. The second story actually involves a character who wasn't even... Actually, the second story is actually kind of like mushed in of little itty-bitty stories. First story, well, the first thing you see is the last thing I'm going to talk about, because it was so cool and so shocking. So the first story that I want to talk about is Superman talks to Commissioner Gordon and asks him what he believes with Batman, and Commissioner Gordon admits that I think he thinks Batman's in the right. And Superman's not going to do anything about it because he hasn't seen Commissioner Gordon work with Batman, well, ever since Superman took over. So he kind of can't do anything to him yet, but he said once he sees him with Batman, he's a fugitive. He doesn't care if he's a cop. The second story that happens is Batman's recovering in a secret location that you don't know about until a few seconds later. And Alfred's with him, and let's be honest, pretty cool. I don't want to spoil this story because this little section, because you get to see a character who came into the game late. I'll just say that, who helped Batman out. I'll tell you that. I know my good friend Tom Balla loves her a lot, so that might have gave it away if you guys watch the MCMG podcast. But anywho, definitely interesting that happened. And the final story involves a character who isn't in the game named Kyle Rayner. Yes, Green Lantern Kyle Rayner. Yeah, he's Green Lantern. He's not White Lantern. Comes home to Earth and gets a welcome invite from Sinestro. And it becomes one of the most oh crap moments of the game. Not the game, the comic. Because you just see the Sinestro Corps, members of the Sinestro Corps hold Kyle hostage while Sinestro's talking about how he's going to gain partners from Earth. Now in the game, this isn't a spoiler because again, the game is 9 months old. We know that Hal Jordan in this universe becomes a Yellow Lantern. So this is leading up to that point, I bet. Plus we have this whole galactic force coming in on them. So Sinestro takes Kyle Rayner into his own hands as well, and holy crap, is it just whoa. You don't see it coming, and you're just like, holy crap. Because this is basically an Elseworld story, Tom Taylor can do whatever he wants with the characters. And when the game already established the characters and he knows the story of what's going to happen and what certain characters need to be alive, the rest of them he can do whatever he wants with them. Crazy, I'll tell you that for sure. Yeah, love this book. Already hooked on it. So, out of those three we just talked about, what were the highest to lowest? Giving it some thought, and let's talk about it. Number 3, the Nightwing number 27. Again, it's a good issue. Only problem is, clunky artwork at some points. The writing in some areas is just but generally a good story, and I would recommend picking it up. I just am saying there's some clunky areas that can be worked on, especially since, Tony Zuko storyline and this. Don't need to go into that again. Just already went into a 2-minute rant on that. Number 2, Night of the Living Deadpool. I was trying to hide it, and unfortunately it came into the camera. Night of the Living Deadpool, number 1. Definitely hilarious. Great satire and fun with the Walking Dead kind of motive and Deadpool in general. Come on. It's not even written by the regular Deadpool writers, but excellent, excellent book, gotta admit. And can't wait to read more, definitely. This has hooked me already, and I love you. But number 1, as I just explained, Injustice Year 2. Please go pick this up. I'm begging you. You don't even need to play the game to understand it. Please go pick this up. Great, great book. I already hooked. Even the first series was great. Pick all 12 of those issues up while you're at it. Great, great book. So, what's coming next week? Next week we only have 2 books, so gonna go back and pick up an older book as well. Yeah, I've been slacking on that part too, picking up older books when there's only been 2 books or 1 book. Kind of been slacking on that because usually I only do I unfortunately was at the end of the year doing like one of these twice a week. Usually got them out, not twice a week, twice a month. So I need to work on getting it weekly because I want to stay consistent. So again, I will give it to you. I will get you an older book with it. Luckily, the week after that, we won't have an older book, and neither the week after that or the week after that. It'll be a while after this next week, but next week, only 2 books. 1 from DC, 1 from Marvel. I'm going to go with Marvel first because, no, I'm going to talk about DC's book first. First, we have Batman number 22. Coming off of number 27. I wrote it wrong on the number 27. We're going into more of the 0 year, figuring out what's going on with this toxin that's turning people into bone structures, dealing with the Riddler still, who's turned out the lights. Yeah, we still got a lot to deal with because the last issue really didn't do much. It was good, but it wasn't fulfilling in any way. But from Marvel, we have the all-new Invaders #1. And I'm pretty excited about this because we get to see a new team come back, even though the Invaders have been around. You know, Captain America leads it. We got Namor and a bunch of other people on it, too. I'm hoping this is good because this is going to be the deciding point if I want to keep reading it or not. But generally, yes, it's a good book. So, go with it. Anywho, that's it for this week's Comic Book Wednesday. Glad to be back. And so is Loki. He's so cute. Speaking of, I just got this in the mail today from Amazon. He's so adorable. He's so freaking cute. Everyone go buy one of these. They're so cute. I also just got this beauty in the mail as well. A Kotobukiya Wonder Woman artifact statue. Genuinely good. I own almost all of them. I only need a couple of them left. They just came out with Shazam. Just need Cyborg and Catwoman. Next month they're coming out with Supergirl. Month after that, Nightwing. Actually, not month after that. April, Nightwing, then Batgirl. And slowly announcing more characters. And they're getting Marvel to do these too. So I might pick up Marvel ones. But just saying, pretty sweet. Awesome statues. I don't care if they're the New 52 and based off Jim Lee's artwork. I think they're pretty sweet. So I recommend everyone trying to go find those as well. But anyway, let me conclude this like I thought I was just going to. Again, thank you for watching. I will promise to see you next week. I promise I'll be there. Thanks, guys.